and I guess we can go over to some questions from the interwebs. And I guess before we go to the interwebs, maybe you could tell us about the interwebs and what we can do to support
by being on the interwebs. If you're on the interwebs and you're in the mood to support this podcast and or yourself with supplementation, go to onnit.com/Jocko. Get Onnit supplements. They're the best ones.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Krill oil.
It's a good idea. Krill oil for sure for your joints. And Alpha Brain.
Some of that Alpha Brainy.
Yeah.
Some Shroom Tech. Sport mode.
Yeah, Shroom Tech Sport if you're into performance. Physical activity performance.
If you feel you need a little turbo boost.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. Remember
the Shroom Tech.
Tim Kennedy put it in like real good terms in my opinion when he was like, when I took the Shroom Tech, it's kind of like, because so you don't want to get confused and be like, hey, I'm gonna take the Shroom Tech and it's like a caffeine boost or something, you don't, because it's not that.
It's not.
So and he put it in these terms where he's like, you go a few rounds, you go 5, 6, 7, 8, however many rounds, and everyone's like real poop, but then you're kind of like, I could go a few more rounds. And really, that is exactly how it is.
That is the Shroom Tech.
Or when you're hitting towards the end of the round or whatever, it's like you feel solid. It just, I guess apparently what it does is it helps you utilize your oxygen consumption.
And you'll feel it on a workout.
Level.
I mean, obviously you're talking about jiu-jitsu,
yeah.
Which for those people that don't train jiu-jitsu, which you should. But if you don't, well, you should. But you're also going to keep working out, and you have the, sort of a metabolic conditioning type workout situation going on. You want that Shroom Tech.
Remember how I was telling you I did my metabolic conditioning after I do like normal lifting?
So I've actually been doing the reverse of that lately.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would advise it
because I'm super warmed up. I'm dripping with sweat.
Yeah,
and I feel really good. And then I figure maybe the opposite will happen because we both know if you go with your strength movements first, you take a little bit off your Metcon strength, right?
Yeah.
If you do, and so that way when you do the Metcon fresh, you feel like Superman, right? Because you blasted your muscles out. So I've been doing the reverse though, where I'm doing the Metcon type first, and then I just breathe it out, and then I get into the heavy stuff.
Yeah, and I dig it. The only reason I say I dig it because you're savage like that, but consider. Because those are two. Well, it depends on what kind of lifting you're doing. Yeah. So let's say if you're lifting like for strength or muscle growth or whatever, you should do that first because the results you seek are in line with you having full energy. You lifting.
I agree with you. I actually think you're correct.
And the Metcon isn't. The results of the Metcon is for you to recover from conditioning. So it's muscular conditioning. So if you're tired going in, that's more conditioning you have to recover from. Better exercise. Yeah. So it essentially. But hey, if you want to reverse it, give your body some stuff to some stuff to deal with.
It's funny because I completely agree with you, and I've only been doing this for a couple months. And you know what it was? One day I was in there. I did like a Metcon. It was pretty strong. I was feeling good.
Sure.
And then I got done. I said, I need a little bit more. So I was like, I'm just gonna move some, do something heavy.
Get my lift on.
And when I went heavy, I was like, man, that feels good. I'm all loose. I'm all warm. Mm-hmm. And so now I've just kind of started doing it a little bit.
Yeah, and if you get used to that, then it'll start to be more and more benefit. I used to run on the treadmill. I used to do like 3.5 miles, sometimes 4 miles, and then lift just because I didn't have time and every time I lift I would never feel like running the mile afterwards. I do it on a treadmill. That's why. So I'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna get the running out of the way, then I'm gonna lift.
Yeah.
And then I was like, dang, lifting is kind of harder, but I'd way rather endure this discomfort when I'm lifting than when I'm running on the treadmill. But I did that for months and months and months, and then one day I didn't run. I was like, it was weird. I was like stiff.
Yeah.
So you kind of get used to it. But either way, I mean, my original point is I do the Metcon after I lift. Doing the Metcon after you lift.
That has been my standard for so long.
Right, but you know how you're saying do the Metcon before you lift, or you're just doing the Metcon that day? It's easier.
Yeah.
Because you're not as tired from lifting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, my original point was the Shroom Tech. So if you're doing that kind of thing, after you lift, when you're going into the Metcon, you're going to feel way better.
You want to hear something cool? So a lot of times people ask me, what is your workout? right? They want to know reps, sets, weights.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's cool, of course.
Sure.
And I haven't put it out there for. Well, I got a book. I'm putting together a book. It's
Like
gonna
an
have
e-book kind of thing.
Actually, it's not gonna be an ebook. It's gonna be a real book.
Hardcover.
Yeah, like a real legit book.
Right on.
Which means it's gonna take a little more time, but I'd rather do it right. But what's interesting is this is what's so cool. So people that listen to the podcast and ask and have been applying the basic principles, because I haven't put out, I don't think I've put out a single workout. Also, people say, what do you actually eat? Right? They want to know what I had for breakfast, lunch, dinner, what I had for snacks, whatever.
Yeah.
All I say is like, I eat mostly, I very low carbs. I eat a lot of meat. I eat a lot of protein. I eat a lot of fat. Okay. What do you do for workouts? I get up early in the morning. I hit it hard. Am I doing squats? I'm doing pull-ups. I'm doing just basic stuff, right? And I've put those basic principles out there. Well, there's troopers, that have been applying these basic principles, and they're making incredible progress in their lives. They're getting stronger. They're getting leaner. They're getting in better shape. So it's actually proven, because I remember you and I talked about this a long time ago. I said, listen, it's more about the commander's intent, right? The working out is about the commander's intent. It's not about, I'm going to tell you how many reps and sets to do. I'm going to tell you what you want to make happen.
Right.
I'm going to tell you where you want to be at the end of this workout.
Right.
Physically and mentally. and people have been taking that. And I mean, all kinds of people. Hey, I've lost 28 pounds. I've lost 42 pounds just from applying the basic principles that and so those will be consolidated in the book so that people can follow them, and there'll be some other good stuff in the book too. Basic philosophy of
Jocko philosophy.
Yeah.
I guess what that is.
Well, that was kind of a tangent on it, wasn't it?
Well, rightly so. I think
rightly so.
I think
Yes,
so.
indeed.
It's
I
consistent,
agree with
right?
you. I agree with you.
Which actually kind of brings me to my point. The consistency is probably the most overlooked fact. Even though people know, you got to be consistent. But that's kind of everything, because everything else is variable. Like you can.
Consistency is king.
There's a billion different workouts.
Wait, by
you
consistency, do you mean doing the same thing, or you just mean doing it every day?
Getting in there
grind.
and doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, not skipping days, weeks, getting off the horse, that kind of stuff. There's a million different workouts you can do that will give you results. And there's a million different results that you can kind of strive for and get them. There's just so many. Same thing with diet. Like you can, people have their rigid diet philosophy, but the fact is that many different diets work. Yeah, I mean, there's some basic principles. You don't eat a bunch of sugar. You don't eat a bunch of fast food. You don't, the obvious things to avoid. And you can get results with many kinds of diets.
And I would go one step further. What you're talking about is consistency. In order to have consistency, that requires the discipline. It does require the discipline. So that's the key factor.
Yep.
That is the key factor. And when people apply the discine to their lives, boom.
Right.
Now
everything becomes consistent. And that's everything.
Progress.
Yep.
So the books can come and the books can talk about that.
There you go.
Boom.
But
All
yeah,
right.
man. Good.
How else can we
That's
support the podcast?
Before you do your Amazon shopping, go to jockopodcast.com or one of the websites, jockostore.com. Click on the Amazon link. Then do your shopping. You can support passively.
And you can install that little tool, or you can just make it your I put it in my what's that called up at the top there?
Bookmarks.
The bookmarks. Yeah. So when I click on Amazon, it's already the Jocko Amazon.
Yeah, it's thing. Not like exactly. That's what I
We go crazy with Amazon.
Man,
Amazon's
how can you not?
Awesome.
Dang, yeah, so awesome. And don't call it a little tool. It's not a little tool.
Oh, that's right.
It's the Trooper tool. It's a big deal. It's pretty little. Technically, it's really. Anyway, the Trooper tool that Brady made.
Little tool.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Deal.
Again,
I like that.
Yeah, little small tool, simple. You go and you can go on the websites and get it. It's called the Jocko Podcast Trooper Tool Chrome extension. All it does, it makes it easy to support podcasts when you do your Amazon shopping, so you don't have to remember that. And it, basically you click on it. Do you want this tool? Click yes. Boom. It's on your little browser there. It automatically directs you to our affiliate link, which so you support that way. And it's kind of cool little icon if you yeah, when you do it, this little icon there, it makes it official. But you can hide the icon if you don't want it. Just hide it.
If you
it
don't
goes
want
away. If you don't want it, and I understand
stared
if you don't. Yeah, it's Jocko's face. But anyway, yeah, the Trooper tool. That's a good one. That's a good easy way, because remembering to go to the website and click through before you do. You know how like you're.
Yeah, I know.
You know, you're going in there
because you want that thing now.
Yeah, you know, you just like Amazon, or it's So
I want this thing. I want that duct tape now.
Yep. Same day. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, now you got the Trooper tool. Boom, easy. Also, obviously by subscribing to the podcast if you haven't already. That one's a good way to support.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Jocko store. That's a good one. I think if you like shirts that say "Discipline equals freedom."
Well, most people do have to wear shirts at some juncture during the day.
Sure.
You can't get into the restaurant without a t-shirt on.
On Kauai, you can sometimes.
Except in Hawaii.
But yeah, there's some shirts on there. If you like them, get a shirt. That's a good way to support. Or a bumper sticker. Elections coming up. Jocko 2016.
Yeah.
I saw a car with Jocko 2016 on it.
Did you know the person?
Yesterday. Yeah.
Was it in San Diego?
Yeah, Chris Martin.
Okay,
but still, it's cool to see. You know, when you pull up, you're like, hey, that's Chris Martin's car.
Yeah.
Anyway, it looked cool. He has a nice car too, by the way. So it looked extra cool. You know, it was like extra official.
Yeah. We got some real supporter out there.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Rolling in that kind of
also, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
And you posted your first.
Yeah, I'm
Outtake.
starting to put it. It's a deleted scene. It's not an outtake.
Sorry.
There's a difference.
Man, keep me tight on those. Deleted scene. If you want to hear Echo Charles talking about
my kids'
alien
book.
abduction.
It's my kids'
You know
book
how many
idea.
podcasts there are about alien abduction? There's a lot of podcasts about it. Is that a subcategory? Because now we're going to fit in that subcategory. Leadership, war, darkness, alien abduction.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why it's an outtake.
That was more like an example underlying kind of thing. It was more about my children's book idea.
Okay, we're good.
Anyway, those are the ways. Yep. On.com/Jocko. That's a good one. Like I said, for the supplements, 10% off. I forgot to mention that if you don't know. 10% off the supplements. Yeah.
Good.